Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, I think it's the first time now. Okay, so my name is Kobi Argov. The first name is Kobi, C-O-B-I. It's a nickname for Jacob.
Oh, okay.
Jacob from the Bible. And my surname, family name is Argov, A-R-G-O-V.
Okay.
I am, in 5 weeks, I'm going to be 55.
Happy birthday.
Born January 21st, 1961. In Israel. I live in Israel, I live in Tel Aviv, but originally I was born in Jerusalem. I am 10th generation in Israel from my father's side, meaning around 250 years before I was born. Already my ancestors came to Israel like 10 generations, and from my mother's side, I'm 9th generation. I mean, that's the longest in between there were marriages, etc. But anyways, my kids are 11th and 10th generations in Israel. Yes, 11th and 10th. Anyways, and basically they were 5 generations ago, they were the first people to build Jerusalem outside what we call the old city or the wall. I think it's the end of the 19th century, something like this. Anyway, so these are my roots in Israel. It helps me a lot also, and I was born in a house who was very pluralistic, accepts every nation, every religion, etc. Very liberal in a way, and most of my family served the country or the country to be born, or after it was born in 1948, then the country, then the state of Israel. Anyways, at home, my mother, for instance, spoke Arabic and Hebrew and English and French and even Yiddish, which is like some kind of a Jewish German language. So these are the languages that were at home, and just have in mind that Arabic is a language we spoke because they were there were friends from Jerusalem that my family knew and lived together even in peaceful times before 1948. My mother was born both my parents are dead, but my mother was born in 1925. So meaning she had lots of time to spend with Arabs and even fighting together the British Mandate hand in hand, which looks today very, very strange how Arabs and Israelis could have, or Arabs and Jews could have same goal and fight against a third party. And so, first of all, these are my roots in Israel. I am married to the same wife for something around 25 years. I hope she doesn't see it that I never remember exactly, but around 25 years. We have 2 boys, twins, which in March will be 23. So this is and we live in Tel Aviv, even though both of us were born in Jerusalem. Because Tel Aviv is the real metropolitan in Israel. It's the New York of Israel and not Washington in a way, or the Amsterdam and not Hague, etc., etc. Another remark that I would say is in a way my blood history. My wife's mother was assassinated by, I will call it an Arab terrorist. I don't want to get into a big argument, but he put a gun, a pistol, here, like this, and shot her dead. Just like this. This was in 1987. It's before I even met my wife. Until today, my wife was most of the time black. She still mourns mother's murder. Okay, so that's my wife. My uncle was the Israeli ambassador to the UK. An Arab terrorist came and put a gun here and shot him. It took him lots of time to die because he was paralyzed. He was like he was 20 years, almost 20 years in hospital, paralyzed from neck down, no hands, no movement at all, and then finally he died. Unfortunately, he lived so long, but anyways, he was assassinated by an Arab terrorist. Same way that my wife's mother. I had an uncle that when he was 8-year-old, this was before Israel was born, before 1948, was also when he was 8, was killed by an Arab bomb. And if I, in a broader way, but nearby is my secretary. Her mother went to visit a member of the family. She sat in a bus. A suicide bomber went into the bus, exploded himself, and my secretary's mother was dead. My marketing manager, a girl, was sitting with her 2 sisters and mother in a restaurant in Haifa. It's a city in the north of Israel. They were sitting celebrating the birthday of one of the sisters. In came a suicide bomber, blew himself. The little sister of my marketing manager died at that explosion. And etc. etc. The list is quite long. All civilians, all peaceful people, peace-seeking people. So it's part of my DNA as well. I'm saying this, but I must say, I say it, but have no hate. I'm not looking at revenge. I'm not looking at stuff like this. On the contrary, I'm all the time searching for what set us together than what set us apart. What are our common values and not what are different, whatever values, etc. By the way, another aspect of my life is that 27 years ago, I recovered a fatal cancer. I was for 7 months hospitalized with severe cancer. That at the beginning the doctors said that okay, we'll give you only morphine and sorry, next to my mother. This was the conversation. But then came another doctor and said, what do you mean he will live? Let's give him high-dose chemotherapy. So for 7 months, I got high-dose chemotherapy. I had 4 operations at the time. Few of them were very big. I have like huge scars in my, especially in my belly, in my front. And I was 43 kilos. I am 190 centimeters high, but I was 43 kilos, bald and yellow. If you recall, if you have in mind the people from the Holocaust, only bones. You saw only me. I was only bones. It was unbelievable. But here I am with 2 kids, raised a family. And it gives me, I guess, also a proportion about life that people don't have it. And I still appreciate life, I think, or look at life in a different way, or even in a better way than most people who didn't have the opportunity to recover from such illness, I am gift. It's a gift that I got to look at life in a better way or in better proportions as well, and maybe to make me more calm and more, okay, I mean, it's my personality as well, but definitely if everybody could have get a period like this and recover, the world would look much, much, much better. So here's I opened all my heart because you are doing, Leon, you are doing an amazing job. I told you previously. I'm trying to like all your posts and on Facebook, but really you're doing a remarkable job, and I believe in what you do, and this is why I open all my things that even most of my friends, I guess, on Facebook don't know all this history. And by the way, as profession, I import beverage to Israel. Beer, Corona beer from Mexico. Water is Evian and Badois from France, and wines from Italy, Mazzi and González Páez from Spain. I'm not doing now. It's not a sales talk, but just have in mind that for those who will have the patience to get to this minute in my interview, this is what I do in life. Because all my illnesses, etc., I'm not doing all what I want, what I would have liked to do. So, but I'm a big fan of basketball. I watch the NBA in quite strange nights, quite strange hours in Israel because it's quite different in the US. So I watch it. I like theater. I like to read books. I like movies, and I think I especially like to sit with friends and have lots of fun. And some of our friends are mutual, Rian, as you know, and especially one of them, which is a very special person and an amazing friend of mine.
What is that, Noni?
What?
Who are we talking about, Noni?
Yeah, I mean, who else?
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah.
And he spoke about you a lot also, and anyways. So basically, if I'm okay, so why did okay, you called me, and your initiative was to call me and to ask me to do this, but why am I doing this? I'm doing this because it's like a call from an Israeli that guys, if you heard my history, most of you cannot compete, especially the Palestinians amongst you, cannot compete with the generations that I was here, with the suffer, or my personal suffer from all the years here, etc. So, but I'm not into this. What I would like to see is how we go over these obstacles, over the conflicts, and look at what our common goals are, and what is more, and try to see that we are human beings, and together we have much more common values than what sets us apart. And I'm here for you, available to any discussion. I'm a personal guy. I'm not nothing with the government, etc. So I guess on a personal level, we can do much more and get much closer than I guess our regimes and maybe international powers, etc. They enjoy our wars and our conflicts, and I think this should end. So my heart is open to any one of you. And basically, I think, Rehan, by this we can conclude or you want some more stuff?
when I talked to you today earlier, you said you're very depressed and you're not doing fantastic. God has given you everything in the world in terms of life, family, wealth. You're still very sad, and you live in Israel, and the rest of the world, especially Muslim world, thinks that the 15 million people of Jewish origin control the 1.5 or the 7 billion people of the planet. Um, why were you depressed? What was paining you?
I'm depressed because I don't know how this madness can be stopped. ISIS, Al Qaeda, Nusra, Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, whoever, whatever. What the fuck is going on? People cannot go to cinema or to a rock concert in Paris or go to a disabled place in California or to go in Israel to a restaurant. Or the same. Why do you Palestinians in the West Bank have to live the way you live? Why? I cannot understand it. I cannot understand what the madness of religion is that send all these crazy people to do crazy stuff. Every time that Oli, another friend of ours, Oliver, yes, I think he's a friend of you as well. Right, Rehan?
Yes.
Okay, so Oli, who is an atheist and a provoker, but every time he says something about Muslims, immediately hundreds of reactions. No, we Muslims are good. We Muslims are good. If your Muslims are good, a day after the Paris attack, 1 billion Muslims should have walked and said no more. Don't tell us in Facebook that you are against such a thing. Once this happens, no, I mean, which Israeli could say anything about Muslims? But the thing is that on one hand, there are all these horrible attacks, and it doesn't. I'm not accusing only Muslims. Don't misunderstand me. But all these attacks, and no one, and in Facebook you say no, the Islam is about love and peace. Okay, so if it's about love and peace, go. Why do we need to protest? Where are you? But if you're a billion or billion and a half or whatever, go to the streets. Say this is not Islam. That Al Qaeda is not Islam, and Taliban is not Islam, and Jabhat al-Nusra, and Boko Haram, and ISIS, and I don't know, and Hezbollah, and Hamas, whoever. I don't care. I don't care. Go and protest. Come with us. Because we protest when a person, that once in a while there's a Jew doing horrible things as a terrorist. Immediately all of us protest. Immediately all of us deny it, etc. All of us, most of us, okay? Most of Israelis. This is what will happen internally. The rest of the world, it's a different thing. So what I'm saying is, guys, so I'm depressed. Okay, sorry, I forgot how I got excited a bit. So you asked, what am I depressed of? I am depressed of it. I am depressed of it that religion is taking over and can cause such horrible things. From one hand, that is in many places is in a way encouraging poverty and ignorance in order to have a better control of people instead of education. By the way, it happens in Israel as well with extreme Jews. And we are trying to do everything possible that it won't happen. So anyways, this frustrates me. I don't know. I don't understand where the world is going to, and how is it going to be solved. I don't see how does the next generation is going to look like. So this depresses me.
If you were
amongst other things.
if you were the Prime Minister of Palestine,
Yeah.
what would be the three things you would do?
By the way, this is water. It's called Evian, the most pure water available. Yeah. This was sorry. What would have done if I'm the
This was
prime
a
minister?
small sales trick in the between. Ta-da!
Well, if I'm a prime minister of Palestine, what would I do?
Yeah.
Prime minister of Palestine.
Three things only. Not too many. Only three things.
No. Let's go for one. Not three.
Okay.
Let's
Three.
Let's try to do one thing. But Prime Minister of Palestine, I think he's the president. And what is Palestine? Basically, from his part, I would initiate an international conference asking for Obama and Putin and Merkel, and if you want to add Pakistani president or prime minister, but anyway, put them in a conference. I would invite them. Guys, let's sit together until there's peace here. Whatever is needed. Nothing but. And in Palestine itself, now, this is what I would have done. This is what I would have expect my prime minister as well to do. Guys, now we solve it. Whatever it takes, we solve it. I would die as a prime minister, yeah? I am willing to die for this cause. Nothing but. Because I believe that Palestinian people could live the quality of life could be much, much better.
What are the two other steps?
No. You said to me. I'm saying this is the one thing you should do.
Not he would do. You would do. If you were the prime minister or the president,
yeah,
you would. Number one. Number
this
two.
This is what I would have done. This is what I would have done, and this is exactly what I would have done. I would have. What is in the negotiations? What I would do, etc., etc. Well, this is. I would ask for a solution to the whatever the. I would ask the solution and assistance of the superpowers and establish a peaceful, independent, successful Palestine. And Palestine can be. It has all the elements needed.
What are the two other things?
Once again, I had one. All the rest is would be part of it, okay? All the rest would be part of it. Very simple. I mean, now the actions, what are the internal actions of our prime minister or the Palestinian prime minister? I give it to the Palestinians to say. If it needs that, I don't know, that in religion, anyone who kills when it comes from religious or whoever who kills, he is sentenced also in Palestine, not in Israel, in Palestine, etc. If the history books, and I mean, I would not allow mothers and teachers and scholars to raise their kids 1, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, etc., giving them, belts, suicide belts, and guns, and educate them how to destroy Israel or kill Jews or Israelis. Stuff like this. I mean, I would concentrate on education and minimizing, or I wouldn't say minimizing. I would say if religion is a must, any religion, if it's a must, only the positive aspects of it are allowed. Don't tell me it's a peaceful and then kill on the name and tell, yes, it's written somewhere that if you're not a Muslim, you should be dead, or etc., etc. So this is about it. But I must say, Rian, that my depression is that I'm not sure that this problem would solve the main problems of the world, because as long as you have places where women are they cut the clitoris of the girls, and they ask and girls that don't have voting opportunity or are not allowed to drive cars or whatever. I mean, and I'm getting married when they are 4 or whatever. So there are much more broader things that should be again should be somehow be solved, and not only the Palestinian problem, because once the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will be solved, people will realize that it was a very small problem.
Yeah, I understand that, but we all have obstacles in our head. When a person doesn't have a job, all the life in the world is all about finding a job. When he finds the job, he's not happy. Oh, I don't like this job anymore. This is human. It is humans for us. So all the problems look big. Once we cross them, there's one small problem. Now there is a bigger problem. So life will be like this. As I wanted to thank you. We were thinking that it will be 10 minutes. It's already half an hour. Thank you so much for your time.
So it's too long. You want a short you can edit it.
No, it's good. I just wanted to thank you for giving the time, and I'm looking forward to talking again. Maybe we can continue this another time after a month, maybe, and see the follow up.
Okay.
And
okay.
I wanted to.
What are you going to do with this? Did you record it? What did you do with this?
Yes, I've recorded this, and we will publish this on the page called Meet an Israeli, and
okay.
People will be able to see you, hear about you, see your feelings, and then get in touch with you.
Okay.
And I wanted to also thank you for adding so many people from my friend list. I see we have 86 friends in common now.
I must say that I had pending requests, I think around 50, 60, 70, and they're on hold meanwhile.
No problem. I would only encourage you to try to find two more friends who can participate in an interview with me like this. I want to record 50 interviews, and
I will. You will have it. This would be a page. This is a Facebook page.
Yes.
Okay, so I will refer them to this, and I will make sure to encourage them to do it.
Correct. And also, I would like to encourage you to see if you can also make a small little fund from your company, which would say, for example, give presents to Palestinians just to have a conversation with people in Israel. Because I found that the problem, because I do also another show called Meet a Palestinian. And I found that most people from Israel and Palestine are not even talking to each other. So think about how we can create more bridges and more conversations.
Okay.
And because I have been funding it for a year, I've been giving computers and things and talk. But people are not talking. People are scared of human beings for some reason. So think about it. Maybe we will talk again about this. Thank you so much again for your time.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to meet you here.
Enjoy Dubai.
Thank
Me too. Bye bye.
Bye.